He was 16 pounds when I got him. And I don't know if he thought he was a dog, but he didn't think he was a horse.
No, if you think you're living in the bedroom, you can forget it.
I would come in and he had gone in my purse. What are you doing in Mommy's purse? You come over here and say sorry right now. He would try to bite the dogs on the rear end as they went by. And he would always try to eat the paperwork. Please stop eating my paper. But in such a cute way, you could never get mad at him. When I picked him up, Peabody was 3 days old. And his mother had rejected him because he was so small. I got a call from a lady who has a breeding ranch. She said, my mare just had a baby. And it's a dwarf, so we're going to put him down. He couldn't walk because his legs were crooked and his bite was off. I said, no, don't do that. I drove across country and I went and got Peabody. And he looked at me and he thought, did I die and go to heaven? I started feeding him the milk out of a bowl because he couldn't seem to latch on with his jaw. It was so difficult. And then I had some shoes made for him. The next thing you know, he's running down the wood floor, making all kinds of noise. Unfortunately, he was too small for the other horses. If you walked by him and brushed him, he'd fall over.
Oh, you okay, sweetie?
So he became our house horse. My husband would come home and we would have dinner. And Peabody was right there too, looking up at you, begging for a scrap. I had 2 French bulldogs. And one day, here comes Penelope. She went up nose to nose. He had no fear whatsoever. They'd run and see who would win the race.
Oh my gosh.
And Peabody would run as fast as he could. The Frenchies, they would bang into each other. But not with Peabody because they knew he wasn't strong. And yes, he was a dwarf, but he was going to be a stallion. Unfortunately, because they're compromised with their health, dwarf horses don't have a long life. And so little Peabody passed away. But his spirit is going to live on. He was really part of the family.
You can do it. Come on, then. Come on, you can do it. Go. Good girl.
Pig was absolutely tiny. We like to call her large guinea pig sometimes.
What are you going to do now?
Her legs, in comparison to her body, are a bit shorter. So we've made lots of adaptations to the house. We've got small sets of stairs leading up to the sofa. We've got 2 ramps in the garden, so she goes out and she walks along a little flower bed.
Pig, you know you're not allowed up there.
It surprised us that she just wants to be a normal cat, but it was really hard for us to get a picture in our minds of what it would be like to have her.
What you doing up there?
It was about 2 years ago. We went to visit Fig and she was just a tiny little hamster size. She was a bit scared, but we fell in love with her and said we wanted to adopt. Don't jump. Cat's Protection asked us to wait a little bit longer because she wasn't quite big enough to be spayed yet. About a month passed and they called us up and said that they suspected that Fig had feline dwarfism. Our vets had never seen it before, the charity had never seen it before, so no one really knows how to treat it particularly. They gave us the choice if we wanted to continue with the adoption, and I don't think we could have said no.
Jesus Christ, Fig.
Her rib cage is not quite connected, she's got no kneecaps, and then her hip joints aren't quite aligned. But she definitely knows that her size doesn't matter.
You can do it. Come on then. Wee.
She's got a tunnel in the middle of the living room that she plays with quite a lot. She's got another ramp that leads down to our main garden. When we're cooking in the evening, she comes into the kitchen to check out what's going on. She's got a very big voice for a very small cat.
Ow, Fig! You're not supposed to use your claws.
We do try and let her be a real cat as much as possible.
Don't reverse.
So if we're stopping her from doing anything, it's all in her best interests. And touch wood, we've been really happy at how healthy she has been. She's already made so many improvements that I really do think she will live longer. She's changed our lives massively. I honestly wouldn't swap it for the world. We absolutely love her.
Ow! Look at you, you pudge. Ow! Let go! Let go!
Baby beaver Petunia was so tiny and new. It was like in the toddler phase where they can do little terrible twos, where they can be very fussy. She's not shy about telling me, I need out. I'm ready. I want a bottle.
He literally wants to wrestle. Already at this age?
I think in her little mind it was, oh, okay, so this is what happens next in life. I go into this house place and these people just hold me and take care of me.
Hi, sweetie. Hi, baby.
Petunia was found alone in a field in North Mississippi. A person happened to see this tiny little thing sitting there. She immediately called and said, we have a baby beaver and you guys are the best people that we can think of. And as soon as I got off the plane from Peru, I went and picked her up. I estimated her to only be a few days old at most. And that is the youngest, smallest beaver that I've ever received. So it's up to us as the humans to make sure that Petunia feels safe and secure. And when I first got her, we were bottle feeding throughout the day and night. But beavers wean pretty quick, which is fortunate. So with Petunia, we really didn't have to work that hard. She's really starting to show her personality, and she is absolutely feisty. And it's just a really great way for them to practice beaver behavior.
Are we done? Are we done?
Because Mississippi classifies them as a nuisance, we moved into this country property so we can release them right here where we know that they're safe. But I wish the world had the chance to hug a baby beaver. And they're just trying to do what they do best, which is care for our environment. And the most special thing about Petunia is that she can just immediately embrace this world.
I had been reached out through a rescue to foster a blind puppy who needs a home. And I just started bawling my eyes out because it was so cute.
What are you doing?
Personally, I never really back then saw myself getting a bully in general. He has his cropped ears, unfortunately, that make him look a lot meaner than he truly is. But I said I would give it a try.
Hey, no. Give me a kiss.
So I went to Walmart and I picked up a laundry basket and I went and picked up this very tiny puppy. I was nervous, but at the time I was also only thinking it was going to be 2 weeks. It was hard getting him adjusted. Obviously, he can't see where everything is. I pretty much just turned into a helicopter parent, making sure he didn't bump into anything. I had bought him a hula hoop that goes around their head. And it kind of helps to get them used to the layout. And it's so sad but so cute because you can see him hit the wall and he gets so discouraged. But then he kind of finds his way again. Obviously, I am not made to foster because I can't get rid of them. That's how I got Levi. But when I decided that I was going to socialize him with other dogs in doggy daycare, he was being fairly aggressive with the other dogs in the daycare because he's blind from birth. So I thought he would be an only child forever.
I'm over here!
But someone reached out to me again saying, hey, we know you have a blind puppy. We have another blind bully. Because Levi had never seen a puppy before. Denial, absolutely not. But his life consisted of sunbathing all day, waiting for me to come home. So I thought maybe there's that slight chance that Levi will understand that this is a baby and he'll be gentle. So the first night that I had brought Jax home, we just let them smell from the crease at the bottom of the door. And then that turned into me holding Jax and they would just smell each other like that, which turned into a few weeks later on leash, and eventually just started playing together. And now they are so in love with each other. It's shocking. So Levi has been helpful in some ways, like teaching him how to use the doggy door. If Jax can hear Levi drinking water, then he knows where the water bowl is. Also, the sound of the collars, Jax can follow Levi everywhere.
Good boy. It's like, what do I do?
Levi loves being a big brother.
Happy boy! Go, go, go! Go, go, go!
Special needs dogs in rescues go overlooked all the time, especially a bully breed. But when you work through those problems, you have the most loyal and lovable dog you could ever ask for. And I don't know what my life would look like if I didn't have my dogs.
Waddles visited me every day, several times a day actually. He will turn up at the front door and just squawk. If I walked around the property, he would follow me around. And I have to be careful when I go inside to shut the front door because he will follow me in. As much as it's very cute to have a kookaburra coming into your home, I had been really concerned because Fluffy and Falcor had disappeared. They were the first kookaburras that visited me every day. What I didn't know is that they were creating this little miracle. And so they brought him to me. They were so unkempt and so hungry that they left him with me and went to hunt and get food for themselves. I was just so surprised that they left him with me, but also thrilled. Waddles is the cheekiest little kookaburra you could ever meet. He is literally the prince of them all. When it is a food day, Waddles will be the first one to be there. He will jump on the plate, and I have to make sure that I'm holding the plate really tightly because otherwise I'll drop it. He's got the best of both of his parents. He's got Falcor's beautiful personality, and he's got Fluffy's good looks. He has like a turned up little beak that makes him look like he's smiling. He's like my best little friend. You are my sunshine. But he is a wild bird and I want to keep him that way. Good morning, everyone. Being a bird carer has been my dream since I was a very young child. Kookaburras are so very, very soft and so very, very gentle. When you have one sitting on your wrist and they're just looking in your eyes, you can see that there's an understanding. If anyone else comes onto my property, the birds will fly down, see it's not me, and they'll fly away. I feel blessed to be part of the riot. I am living my best life here on my property with Waddles and his family.
Are you displeased with your room service? Seriously?
I'll sit with her face to face and talk to her, and she would scream. She would scream all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry, more?
When I stop petting her, and I get lots of complaints from her. She definitely has a timer of when she's supposed to eat, and she will let you know if you're late.
You want to eat?
She's a little scrungly looking for sure. But that was about her all the time. I knew that she was going to be definitely something interesting. I got Wisp Mom from when a bunch of Persians were getting dumped in the neighborhood where I lived. We were all very much in shock because everybody just like deemed her as a fixed male. But we were just all like, okay, well, here we go. We have one little tiny kitten. Mom tried to nurse her. Wisp just wouldn't latch. She was just like not doing well. But I was nervous at first because it's always hit or miss if they latch on to the bottle feeding. I stayed up till almost 8 in the morning and I would just like check on her and, are you breathing? Are you okay? And she was a pro at it. The first day,
Are you hungry?
she was just screaming.
Okay.
She was very demanding. But we just thought it was hilarious because we've never had such a kitten that small, overly vocal about everything.
Just stay away. You dirty. Yes, you are.
So I would just talk to her, and she always looks at me like I'm crazy. And she reacts for sure. She knows her name and knows certain words.
I cannot hold you all the time. I'm sorry.
I'm honestly surprised by her because she was confined for so long that she never got that chance to like zoo me. So she will run really fast and kind of just like wipe out or topple over. But she'd act like it never happened. Now the energy level, the food level, all of that stuff has increased, which is a healthy, happy kitten. And she's definitely a little lover. When she's not feeling well, she wants like that security with me. She'll rub on me or she'll ask me for pets. Sometimes it's hard to get anything done because you want to pay attention to her. She just has a huge personality.
Hello.
And it makes me very happy. She's something.
Papa.
I never ever planned to have a house hedgehog. But now, here she is biting at my favorite jeans. Shusha has occupied my life completely. We share everything, from my couch to my husband. Looking at this sassy grunting girl, you can't even tell how broken she was when I found her. I stumbled upon Shusha on my way back from work, and at first I couldn't even tell what she was. I squealed in excitement when I realized it was a baby hedgehog. But something was off about her. She didn't run away like all wild animals do. She didn't make a sound. And then I saw a huge muddy wound on top of her head. Poor baby was severely injured. I couldn't just leave her alone among the skyscrapers, so I scooped her up and rushed to the vet. Their best bet was that a dog attacked Shusha, and they didn't give her many chances. But we hoped for a miracle, grabbed some meds, and headed home. Since then, it was non-stop work. I was putting ointments on her every day. And oh gosh, she was so stubborn about it. Shusha was obviously scared and wouldn't even take food from my hands. But I promised I will never give up on her. Little by little, her appetite came back. She started gaining some weight and looking more hedgehog-like. At night, she would even get rowdy and bite the bars of her cage. But then, something amazing happened. I was giving her treatments as usual, and she put her quills down. She laid them flat and soft so that I could pet her, and she melted right into my hand. I almost cried in that moment. Shusha finally trusted me. Since then, each day was a mile better than the last one. She was super energetic and her sassy side came out. Because she had to spend so much time in a small space, I felt very bad. And so we let her roam around. She runs all over our house. If you see a moving lump, just know it's Shusha. Although the world was rough to Shusha, we wanted to show her it wasn't all bad. So we started taking her outside on walks. She definitely turned heads at the park. I take her to work, and although she just snaps through my shifts, she's everyone's favorite co-worker. Unfortunately, Shusha will never be able to live outside. She still has some health problems, and she's too used to humans to survive on her own. But we do everything to make her happy. You may call me crazy, but I love this tiny hedgehog with all my heart. And if I went back to the day I met Shusha, I would rescue her 1,000,000 times.
Here, Stanky. Oh, hey, come here. Come here, Stanky. Oh, come here. Come.
There are days where it's like, all right, I'm trying to go to the bathroom right now. You can leave. But no. He's a very clingy bird in a childlike way.
Quit looking at me like that.
He will sit there and watch whatever you're watching on your phone for days. He's very much like a cat. He just kind of lounges around, hangs out with you. I'm like, go play with the neighborhood kids. And then when he's done playing and exploring, he'll come sit on my shoulder. It's funny because lennies are usually pretty quiet, soft, gentle birds. And Dipper is almost the exact opposite.
You guys are always talking about how cute my bird is. Want to see how cute he is?
And I've always been around birds growing up. And I have my own apartment now. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready to get a bird. So I did some research on lennies, is what people call them. And so I was like, oh, cool, that sounds just like a good match for me. With a lot of birds, usually there's this period of like gaining their trust and like they're nervous and uncomfortable. So I had some expectations. But the first day we brought him, it was a very rare case. He fit right in. He was playing in his cage, he was eating, he was drinking. He just was like, cool, guess this is my new home now. But also, he's always been a daredevil. So we were a little timid to let him out of his cage. We tried to make sure that our house was as bird-proof as possible. But he would walk around on the floor a lot, and we were constantly worried we were going to step on him. So we had to pay attention to that. Another thing with lennies specifically is they like to burrow. So you have to watch for that, and you have to like make sure you're not just like flopping down on your bed or on the couch. But luckily Dipper's been pretty good about that. He's constantly chattering. It's hard to lose him, thankfully. Him being himself, him being goofy and full of life and full of wonder, it's really nice to see, and it's refreshing. If I had to compare him to one thing, he's probably the size of dinner roll. But it's really cool that something that is that small can have that much personality. I couldn't imagine him being any other way.
Just a kid and her bat out there on the Aussie land getting by.
You know, raising a toddler is already harder as it is. But what do you do when you have two?
Oh, she's gonna chew your nose off.
Stormy and Ashley have made the farm their ultimate playground. As As soon as they wake up, they jump into a puddle of mud. At bedtime, it's all about snuggles and bedtime stories though. These two are like brother and sister, really. But we could have never expected their bond to grow the way it did.
Hop in your bed. Hop in.
Stormy was found on a block of land that had been backburned. Some people saw her roaming around the ashes like a little phoenix. Luckily though, she had no burn marks, but was covered in ticks, and because she was so restless, she bumped her head and ended up with a big scratch. We spent all night getting her back to her healthy self. And the moment Ashley laid eyes on Stormy,
I just love Stormy. She's so cute and fluffy.
she knew she wanted to take care of her.
She's getting scared because she's going into the vet.
And when they got home, Stormy was glued to Ashley's hip. She would only let Ashley bottle feed her.
Is Stormy easy to feed? Is she?
Ever since they kicked off their grand adventure, Stormy opened up like we couldn't believe. She started to zoom around the sanctuary. She began joining in on Ashley's dance routines. They love playing chase and having little wrestling matches in the house. But most importantly, they make each other feel safe. So come hell or high water, you'll never find one without the other. When Stormy came in, Ashley's friendship was like a magic potion for her. She knew that with her human sister by her side, they were unstoppable. And I know that Stormy will cherish this friendship for years to come.
Someone's knocking at the door. Who could it be, I wonder? What are you doing?
The day I brought a baby fox home, I honestly didn't know what to do. He was super small and needed a mom to take care of him. I had cats and dogs, so I was worried they wouldn't get along. He wanted attention 24/7. And I was nervous I would lose him in the house. I almost thought to myself, was this a mistake? We found Sunny all alone lying next to a foxhole. He had wounds all over his body and was shaking with fear. Local farmers consider foxes as pests. And sadly, it was Sunny's family that they attacked. I brought Sunny home and knew I had to start his treatment immediately. I researched all the healthy foods you can give foxes. I made sure he had space to roam around so he could start walking on his sore leg. And with constant love and affection, every day, Sunny got better and better. However, it wasn't until we introduced Sunny and Nick to the cats that his personality really started to shine. Once Sunny got back to his healthy self, having Nick and the cats around was a blessing. The cats love wrestling him and showing him who's boss. And Nick just wants to cuddle with him all the time. So all his love and attention really gave Sunny a new lease on life. Unfortunately, Sunny's leg never fully recovered, so he was unable to be released. And Sunny has been living with us ever since. I still can't believe what those farmers did to him and his family. It was something I never thought he would be able to recover from. But I'm so grateful I got the chance to help him. Sunny is a bright light in my life. He shows the world that no matter what life throws at you, there's always a reason to keep going.
Having a fox, it was almost like having a new baby. Once she was in my arms, I just immediately fell in love with her. She couldn't walk very well yet because she was so little, so we basically carried her everywhere. She slept almost the entire time and woke up to drink milk. We had a dog, and he definitely was a little jealous at first. So honestly, at the beginning, I was a little nervous about it. A couple years ago, my husband came to me and said that he wanted to rescue a fox. I thought that it was crazy, and then I had softened up a bit and decided to let him do it. We wanted to make sure that we did it the right way, so we found a rescue shelter.
Roxy's parents were raised in a shelter, so when she was born, they couldn't really teach her how to survive in the wild. Specialists confirmed that it would be in her best interest to be under the care of us.
We definitely did some research up front about the setup and the food. My husband literally redid the whole half of our basement for her. It was probably 6 months of getting comfortable with her. We were a little worried how Diesel was gonna take to her, but he's gotten over that. She's older now, she's bigger, and they can actually play together. He'll lay on the ground, and then all of a sudden she'll pounce on him. Even if she just saw him like 2 hours ago, when they meet again, she'll like tinkle on the floor, wags her tail just like a dog. People saying that foxes and dogs don't get along. I think their friendship in general proves that wrong. There's definitely a point where they'll be tired. So usually then we'll kind of split them up so they can catch their breath. But he would have to go everywhere that she went, like a super protective older brother. It almost felt like he took her in as his own. And they've built that trust with each other. So cool to see that.
Atlas's infatuation with Junior has always baffled me. Every morning, Atlas will go to Junior's enclosure, and Junior really is just so happy to see her and greet her through the glass. She does not like other animals. She really doesn't like other humans either besides me. But for some reason, whenever she hears the glass slide on Junior's enclosure, she just turns into this whole different cat. Atlas genuinely found a connection with him, so I've never had any issues or any kind of worries between the two. When I first allowed them to get to know each other, it was after many months of them seeing each other through the glass. So I created a barrier between them so that they could sniff each other. But then about 4 months down the road, I decided to have Junior out and Atlas beside me.
Be nice, Atlas.
We were sitting on the couch one day and Junior was very focused on coming out and hanging out with me and also eating his favorite plant. And Atlas was like, hey, maybe you should hang out with me too. So she would touch him and he would not care too much. And then finally one day she was like, I need you to pay attention to me. And she does the cutest little rub and snuggle against him. So he finally was like, okay, you can rub up against me for a little bit. Whenever they're together, I make sure that I have complete control of the situation. But in all honesty, for over 5 years now, there has never been 1 ounce of aggression. So Atlas is very playful, she's very loving, she wants to snuggle. And it just amazes me that a lizard could transform a cat like that. For me, the cutest one is when Junior is very focused on eating and Atlas just wanted to just rub and rub. So I do think that they do have some kind of connection that they both enjoy.
Are you excited, huh? Kisses.
I was actually part of a conservation program for the species that Junior is. And when I decided to leave that position, they asked if I would take him with me. And then Atlas, the cat, she was rescued from underneath a shed. Lizards don't have much facial movement, so you can't really tell if they're smiling or not. But the fact that he is willing to just hang out with her, it's really changed my mind about how different species can coexist and even actually like each other.
Wherever my cat goes in the house, her turtle BFF has to be right next to her. Every night, Gonzo makes his way to Kyuki's bed. And if Gonzo ever loses sight of Kyuki, he speeds off on his skateboard to look for her. When people see Gonzo next to Kyuki, they always say, "Is that a shell on wheels?" But once they get a closer look, they see it's a mini turtle following his cat sister. Gonzo is super clingy and is always right under Kyuki's feet. Our cat literally can never get a moment of peace. Until she finally thought, well, if you can beat him, join him. Oh. I was walking home one day when I saw something that looked like a seashell, and then I got closer and realized it was a tiny turtle. He was so thirsty and needed water immediately. So we bought a brand new tank for him to soak into. Konnichiwa. We have a cat at home, Kyuki, and she was super curious about her new scaly friend. She would lie next to his tank every day to get a better look at him, until we finally decided it was time to introduce them. Kyuki was a little unsure at first, since Gonzo was not what she expected. But Gonzo was determined to make a friend out of Kyuki. Gonzo was so small he couldn't keep up with his sister around the house, and it was really sad to see. So we decided to help him out. And that was the moment that we thought, what if we get him a mini skateboard? Gonzo was a master on the board from the second he climbed on. Now, no matter where Kyuki is, Gonzo is zooming right behind her. Every time Kyuki sees something out the window, Gonzo never misses a beat. Sometimes Kyuki loves to kiss Gonzo and then run away. She even climbs into his tank to greet him in the mornings. They truly are a match made in heaven. I never in my wildest dreams expected Kyuki and Gonzo to get along. But seeing their relationship grow has been incredible. Of course, we always make sure to supervise them when they're playing. But Kyuki has never been mean or rough to Gonzo. And every day with these two is just another adventure.
Owning a skunk has been literally like having an infant.
You can't have her food.
She somehow figured out how to climb the cardboard box that I had to separate the rooms. She got into the cat treat bag and she ate all of the treats.
What are you doing?
She's got a big personality for a little creature. She will get the zoomies and she loves to play chase. But it is definitely an animal that needs a lot of time and attention. I got her through a chain of rescuers that do skunk rescues. So she was born into captivity and as a result would never be able to be released into the wild.
She's eating strawberries.
When I brought Takcoa home, she fit in just the palm of my hand. She was super tiny. I had her in one room of the house and I left the door open so my cat could go in and out. I was very close to monitor just in case her predator instincts were there. But she wedged herself in between the wall and the cardboard box. My cat was a little uncertain of what this creature was. But Nola was always very gentle because Nola was able to watch Takcoa grow up and get bigger. So as Takcoa got a little older and became more playful, that's when Nola started to engage and play with her a little more. I take them for walks together. I go to parks and nature preserves and I walk them both on a leash.
Leo, what you got there?
It's definitely an eye stopper when I take them out. And of course, people come up and ask to take photos and see if they could pet them. So that's been pretty fun to see. It's almost like watching an older sister with a younger sister. My cat will run back and forth and take turns chasing each other. If I sit on the couch or lay on the floor and Takcoa is curled up with me, Nola will come right up and she'll join us. So we'll all take a little nap or watch TV. So I'm very fortunate with my work schedule that I'm able to provide that time. Takcoa brings me a lot of joy. I'm very grateful and thankful she's in my life. So I definitely wouldn't trade it, even though it may complicate things at times.
Samir.
I have never in my life seen a cat this tiny. Samir is smaller than a feeding bottle, but he's the biggest boss. If he's after snacks or cuddles, he'll roar non-stop. And if he doesn't get what he wants, you'd better watch out. Honestly, when I first met him, I didn't know if he'd make it. One day, I saw a video of 4 baby kittens. Someone found them in a far-off area. Sadly, they lost their mom and were left all alone. I rushed there immediately, but by the time I arrived, only 2 of them survived, Samir and his brother. They clearly needed help, so I took them to a vet and did all the checkups. But unfortunately, only Samir made it through. That day, I promised I'll give him everything so he thrives. Every 1 or 2 hours, I'd feed him milk, and I made him the softest bed out of blankets. Over time, he got bigger and stronger, but I could see how cautious he was. When I'd put him on the floor, he'd make a few steps and then freeze. And after every meal, he'd crawl back to his cozy little den. One time, I went to check on Samir, but his bed was empty. My heart dropped, and I started looking for him everywhere, calling, "Samir! Samir!" Just when I thought he was gone,
Samir!
He popped out of the kitchen, ran to me with his little paws, climbed all the way up onto the couch, so proud of himself. And ever since then, he continues to surprise me. He's got so much energy and sass to him. He loves nothing more than sparring with my hands. And once he gets bored, he switches to his hunter mode. Even though Samir is still a baby, his personality is huge. I think he thinks he's a lion. Sometimes he gets too into it, and I'm like, man, you better stop. But I love him so much that nothing he does will ever change it. When Samir came around, I honestly doubted if he'd make it. But I'm so happy his strong spirit proved me wrong.